Welcome to We Are PPS podcast, where we sit down to talk with the students, staff, and community partners working to make Pittsburgh Public Schools one of America's premier school districts, student-focused, well-managed, and innovative. I'm your host, Ebony Pugh, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with one of our students, Omega from Pittsburgh Obama. How are you doing, Omega?
Good. How are you, Ebony?
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really love to get students on, and today we have a special topic. We're coming off the heels of our 27th annual AACAS Symposium, and AACAS stands for African American Center for Advanced Studies, and you're one of the students who serve on the AACAS committee, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me about what you do as a committee member. Like, what does the committee do?
So the committee's ultimate goal is to obviously host the symposium annually, and then to also empower each other and teach each other about what it means to be Black, and like just the power we hold as like Black students, and like just like to keep pushing the agenda of being an African American student that takes creative advanced studies.
Right, and so it's giving you a safe space as a group. And then you plan, I have had the opportunity to attend multiple symposiums, and I'm always blown away by what you all put together. So part of it is, I know you put together different, now you have the core group of members of the AACS committee, which is about 50 members or so.
Usually about that, yeah.
And then you're serving another almost 500 to 600 students who come in for the symposium for that day. And tell me what goes into the thought process of the different sessions the students get to take advantage of. So what kind of topics did you guys have this year?
We definitely have to talk about, like, every year we have to talk about a message we want people to take home with them. And this year our theme for the symposium was Black Now, Black Tomorrow. We had, like, the thought process that went into this, it's, like, really complicated because we had to come up with, like, a lot of themes. Like, some of our other theme options were, like, Black in the box or Black outside the box.
Those are all really creative. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's definitely, like, we had to figure out, one, how we can get our speakers to connect with that theme, and how we can get our teen forum aspects to also connect with that theme.
In the teen forum, if you haven't seen it, listeners, if you haven't had a chance to see it, it is pretty amazing what you guys pulled together.
Yeah, I was actually on teen forum this year. This is my second year being on teen forum, as well as my second year being on the committee. But at the beginning, it's always like really rocky, and we're like always like, what should we do? But we always like come together and pull something together and make sure it's like top notch.
Right, and it's for the students, it's by the students, but it has an important message behind it, as you said, right? And I know the superintendent, Dr. Walters, for all 27 years has served as sponsor at AACS. And I know over the past 2 years, because you were a sophomore, correct? You've had opportunity to engage with him in that role. How is it having the superintendent of the school district still be a part of helping you all plan this symposium?
It's like, honestly, him being superintendent isn't really like, it's like we don't think of the positions of all of our like leaders or adults in AACS, because it's like we're all just one big family.
Oh, that's awesome, yeah.
So it's like, Dr. Walters, we don't think of him as like the superintendent. He's just Dr. Walters. Like,
that's awesome. I know that's how he would prefer too, I'm sure. So I know that's the space he wants to create. And you do have multiple adults who support your group, support you guys. And you guys, how do you get together and do the planning? How does the planning come together?
So we separate into 3 different groups within the committee. So there's logistics, marketing, and teen forum. So teen forum, their ultimate goal is to form the script for that aspect of the symposium, and then get their own performers, form presentations, and all that stuff. We had a Jeopardy game this year. That was pretty fun. Yeah. Marketing, basically they just not sell the symposium, but like advertise it.
Okay.
And get it like out there so that people know like, hey, this is coming up.
Right.
Stay tuned because we're in the lab. We're working on it.
Yeah.
And then logistics, they get the speakers and presentators for the morning part of the symposium where we have students just going around and like listening to different speakers. And most of the speakers have their own like, like message that we want.
Yeah, their specialty that focus on what you guys have asked.
Yeah. So
that's cool. And you guys plan this throughout the year, so you get together. Like, how do you get together to do the planning? Because it's coming from multiple schools, right? So how does that work?
So each school has their own AACAS, and within each school's AACAS, there's a president, vice president, secretary, treasurer, and then there's also 2 delegates that will travel from that school to be in the main committee of AACAS. This year I was the treasurer of my school's AACAS and then also a delegate.
Okay.
So usually it's around, we have 6 delegates, I believe, this year. And then every time like we lose one, like a senior graduates who is a delegate, then we elect more. More spots will open that next year whenever we do more elections. And then the school should be meeting for their AACS at least once a month. We weren't able to meet as much this year because we had a change in facilitators.
Okay.
Ms. Mercedes was our facilitator last year, but we had a change. So it's just been a lot of miscommunications, but we've definitely been like trying to push for like to do more things at Obama's AACAS.
Okay. Yeah, so I wonder too, being a member of this AACAS, do you ever find it challenging in terms of being able to just stay focused on your academics, or is it challenging sometimes with your other peers to be a member of CAS?
Sometimes, because it's like a lot of my friends, like whenever I say AACS, they're like, what? Like, what does that mean? Like, it just sounds like a bunch of letters and gibberish to them. But I definitely try my hardest to like push them to like participate in it, and like show them. I want them to come to the symposium next year. Since it fell on the day of our Keystones this year, we didn't have as many people. But I definitely like share a lot of what's going on at AACAS, like at my school, so that I can try and like help more people like know what it is and what it's about. And that way we could get more interest in it and then more helping hands.
Yeah, and then actually too, seeing like, as you personally have been involved, what do you see the benefits that you've gained from being a member, just being in AACS, but also being a member and working with the committee?
It's just like meeting people from all different backgrounds who are the same color as me. It's like definitely nice exposure and nice experience. And then we all have fun too. Like, it's not, when we really need to get the work done, we do it, but we also have fun too at every meeting. So that's nice.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And being able to engage, like you said, with students who look like you, but also have some similar academic experiences too. Because, sometimes you hear things about academic achievement, and you would think like all students are having some, not getting. Some people would think that we're not providing students like a high quality academic experience.
Yeah.
So can you talk about what you're at Obama? Can you talk about the what you are getting academically from the school?
Academically from Obama, I take advanced math, and I've taken advanced math since middle school. And then I also take 2 electives. We take 2 different electives every semester. So my first semester I had personal finance and I don't remember what my other class was.
Yeah. Personal finance, that's a new class that we're offering across the
yeah,
district.
and personal finance is definitely a nice class to have because we learned a lot about budgeting, taxes. It was nice.
Oh, that's great.
But now I take visual arts and engineering.
Yeah.
And at Obama, we actually, I believe it was created when I was in 8th grade. But they have a new engineering workshop that I believe was like sponsored or funded by Google. Excuse me.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think that's right. Yep.
And then we have like laser cutters, a 3D. I don't think it's a 3D printer. It's like.
I think it is.
I think we might have one.
Yeah, I think
but
so.
we made
space that.
Yeah, Tinkercad. We use Tinkercad to make like. We're making like chocolate bars in there right now.
Wow.
So it's really nice. Obama has a lot of academic opportunities for kids that like aren't always known about, but they're definitely there.
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything else you think I missed asking you about being in CAS?
Like the challenges and obstacles that I have to face as a CAS student.
Yes. Is there anything you would add to that?
It's like being a CAS student, I have to like, a lot of people hold me at a higher standard. Like at school, whenever people are talking about, like most people in my grade don't take Algebra 2, they take geometry. So whenever they're talking about the geometry work and they ask me like, oh, hey, do you have this worksheet or da-da-da? I'm like, oh, I don't have her. I had her last year. They're like, I forgot you're smart. It's like you're smart too.
Yeah. Yes. It's just you're getting at your pace, right? But yeah, I can imagine that kids do look to you like, yeah, look at Omega. She's yeah. And I guess I'm sure you have a great family support system. Like how do you feel? What do you feel like led you into this direction of being a gifted and talented student?
Well, both my parents. My dad is actually a principal.
Oh, okay.
And my mom has been pushing for me to like. She pushed me to. Well, not push me like in a bad way, but like, I started going to the Gifted Center in 2nd grade. She definitely advocated for that and made sure that I had the opportunity. And I will definitely say it did help me with a lot. A lot of their classes are like surprisingly helpful for elementary school students, and I still take a lot of the things I learned there, like back in like 5th grade, with me today. And it's like, my parents like support me in like almost everything I do, and they always like, they know my potential and like what I'm capable of, and it's like they always just push me. So it's nice to have somebody who's like, who knows you can do more, so that like you can stay hungry.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. I know they love to hear that. That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much for sitting here down with us. I've had so much fun talking to you. I could keep talking, but I know we're not supposed to be but so long.
Thank you for the opportunity.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of We Are PPS. Be sure to tune in the next time. If you like this episode, be sure to give us, some high ratings so we can get out there in the universe. People can see what we're doing here at PPS. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.